knowledge as such, I don't think it has any. I don't understand like why you would term it as traditional knowledge. Because basically, knowledge is something that's evolving.
So the basic question is knowledge in the light of reason. That could be an approach.
That would make more sense. I think.
Okay. So usually when we talk about knowledge in the spiritual angle, it is knowledge that you find it out by exploring yourself. That is how we find the knowledge. But usually knowledge that is found by looking inward is not considered as a knowledge that is scientifically right, because it is a very subjective something. And so subjective understanding cannot be considered as something having deep foundation. It will not stand the test of generalization. So I may experience something and you may experience something different. And so we cannot compare the difference. And so it won't stand the test of science. So that is why this part is considered as something very personal, which is the spiritual knowledge. Because spiritual experience are different from person to person. But there is some ways through which you can explore the inner world. And those different paths that is traced by masters in olden times, they have put it out in different names, such as different darshans. And that is actually coming under the purview of the spiritual knowledge in India. So reason is you have to substantiate what you are saying. So when you are looking into science, you can see that all this knowledge which we are proposing, or the humanity has proposed, is in a way an exploration to the consciousness. So if we ask the question, what was there before the beginning? And actually, what would be the answer? Before the beginning, what was there? Your mind tries to find an answer, but you will not get any answer because it is beyond the scope of our mind. And so something which is beyond the scope of our mind cannot be actually found out by the mind. Then, of course, we are trying with certain limited means, which is mainly the means which our mind is provided to find it out. In our mind, we have certain faculties like analysis, synthesis, intellectually finding the right and wrong, and then we generalize it, and there comes the difficulty in generalizing. And then what we do, we expect that this may be something which is working in everyone. And on that basis, the person who is exploring may start to feel that it has a general application to the generality of public. And as we get there, we have the tendency to create some concepts, beliefs and ideas. And when we get there, we are going beyond the reason. Logic is not the end of the story, but we have the tendency to get there and create some concepts, beliefs and ideas, personal ideas. And that may vary from person to person. But there are concepts which are tested by science, which could be generalized, and then that is accepted as concepts which will work in many spheres of our activity, both like laws of nature, like how the body is functioning, how the mind is functioning, all these things. So this is the main area when you are trying to understand something based on your reason. But before the reason, we are trying to analyze, taking materials from the past or earlier investigations, and we try to analyze it, and then finally comes the conceptualization process. And in that process, there is I feel that there is a derailing because your personal experience you try to rationalize, you try to generalize and then keep a concept out of it and then you start to believe that this concept is ultimate. It may work, it may not work. The applicability of it is 50%. So with this 50% we try to create an idea that it is applicable to everybody. Most of the concepts are going like this, not the scientific concepts, but the spiritual things. So, what is the what is the problem that happens here is we would be derailing from the path of knowledge. So there is a possibility of derailing, and that needs to be avoided if you want to understand something deeply. So for that, we have to eliminate the concepts, beliefs and ideas, and we have to impartially look without connection from the past investigations or explorations, and then unbiasedly looking at it, and then what you feel out of it. And that is very important, to have a clear perception. And if you don't get that clear perception, certainly all the findings will be erroneous. And so this clear perception is actually very, very important. For that, we need to focus our attention to the present without taking all the things of the past to corroborate what you are seeing. This is very important. Usually we cannot do this. We can do it, but we won't do it. So if you are you are trying to understand the knowledge in this way, certainly there can be a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of erroneous understanding. And that needs to be eliminated if you are trying to find something very deep. And that is what you have to do. When you are approaching knowledge, if you wanted to really understand something deeply. Otherwise, we will be misled by outside. This is what I wanted to say tonight.